Code Pink. Thank you to everyone that watched our introduction video.
Yes.
My name is Simi.
And I'm Doreen.
And together we're Code Pink.
Where you meet the back.
So today we're gonna get right into the topic
Yeah.
and jump into one of the reasons why we started the YouTube channel.
Be real.
Exactly. A lot of people don't talk about,
No.
with very good reasons, but
Right.
we're gonna break the mold and talk about it anyways.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about
Medication errors. Duh, duh, duh. Of course, as a healthcare professional, the last thing you want to do is make a mistake.
Yes.
Your worst nightmare.
Yes.
You are literally at work constantly stressed about doing that, and then you do that. It's like, what do you do next? You know?
Right.
We're gonna address some of our medication errors, and in hopes that, you know, we need to break the barrier of being so shy about it and embarrassed about it.
Yeah. Before we start by telling you guys our medication errors, we want to share with you two very, very important, I guess, national televised stories. Jareen's looking at me like this because she has no idea what I'm talking about. But I wanted to share with you medication errors that have been publicized, and then we'll share our own. When you get like a near miss or an actual like error or mistake, the way you feel, it's not like, you can't even explain it. Alright, so here we have two medication errors, and I'm gonna share the first one because Jareen had no idea that I pulled this stuff up. And the first one, I feel like majority of people know. It was the Vecuronium instead of Versed, okay?
They gave what?
So this is a no judgment
Free zone.
No, I said that backwards. This is a judgment free zone.
Yes.
A no judgment zone. No judgment.
No judgment
No
zone.
judgment. This medication error occurring in December 2017 has resulted in a reckless homicide. Oof.
Homicide.
A reckless homicidal charge against a Tennessee nurse who recently pled not guilty to the charge. Mind you, these are not my words. These are someone else's words. As the Associated Press and other news outlet reported, the nurse allegedly injected a 75-year-old patient with the paralytic anesthetic Vecuronium instead of Versed, a sedative. The nurse supposedly chose to override safeguards when she could not find Versed in an automatic dispensing cabinet, typed VE into the cabinet system, and then selected the first medication, Vecuronium, that came up on the list. I heard the story mostly through like word of mouth, but what happened is that a nurse was taking her patient to get some type of imaging. I don't know if it was CT, MRI, something. Usually when you take a patient for something like that, you have some type of sedative to help relax them. A lot of times the doctors will tell you what you're allowed to give, but then they won't order it until you come back to the floor. Usually when you leave your unit, there aren't the same safety measure guides that you normally will have, which is like scan the patient's armband, scan, because you don't have a computer, you don't have anything with you. You just have to do it manually. Everything's done manually when you're off the unit. She went down to MRI, I guess the patient needed the sedative, and went ahead and gave the patient a paralytic. It literally just paralyzes you. So this patient, not able to move any of their muscles, was in this imaging machine scanner, and went ahead and, you know, died.
Yeah.
That's my understanding of what happened. So she got charged for homicide.
Cost the life of a Canadian child, according to the report from the ISMP Canada Safety Bulletin. The child received a prescribed dose of tryptophan at bedtime to treat sleep disorder for about 18 months. A refill was ordered and filled. The child received the prescribed dose but was found dead in his bed the next day. The post-mortem toxicology test identified an anti-spasticity agent, baclofen, at the expected concentration of the prescribed tryptophan. It was determined that the child had received a dose of baclofen more than 20 times the maximum recommended pediatric dose. As ISMP notes, this finding was consistent with the selection error having been made at the pharmacy, whereby one ingredient was inadvertently substituted for another. The error and the child's death has promoted his mother to push for mandatory reporting of all errors made by Ontario pharmacists. Basically, there was a med error in pharmacy where they switched a drug, and it ended up, it was a normal refill, and the parents, I guess, refilled the medication like they've been taking for 18 months.
Right.
And gave it to the child, and the child never woke up the next morning. That's crazy. So,
you know why I chose that?
They ended up in death?
No. The first one was a nursing error.
Right.
This one is
Pharmacy.
a pharmacy. Not even an in-house pharmacy, right?
Outside.
Medication errors can happen in
Everywhere.
any part of the chain, right? We're nurses, so we're speaking from a nursing standpoint. Before it comes to you as a nurse in a hospital setting or whatever setting you're in, it has like gone through a lot of other different people.
Yeah. Agreed. So story time.
Story time! Oh my gosh, I love story time. Story time makes me so happy.
As I spoke in the last video that I recently got off orientation, I think it's a month now, a month or two. Whoop, whoop. So it's been real, and it's been very real. A couple of weeks ago, I had my first medication error.
I think I jinxed her, y'all.
Yeah, because Simi was literally talking about, oh, we need to make a video on medication errors. And I was like, I don't really have anything to share. And God was like, oh, I got something for you. I was mortified. Basically, what happened was my patient went down to OR to get his trait. He came back up and we were getting him settled, but he was very hypertensive. Everyone was in the room helping me, and the charge nurse was there. And so I come from the floor, and when we give PRN hydrolysine, which is a medication that helps your blood pressure decrease, the way we mix it in the bag and we run it IV piggyback is different from the ICU because they're allowed to give IV push. So it's like a totally different system that I'm not used to. I felt like super pressured. Like I went to get the hydrolysine. All the advanced practice practitioners were looking in the room to like see like what am I gonna do? Like I had like a nurse here looking at me, I had a charge nurse looking at me, family looking, like I just had so many eyes on me, like
so much
saying,
pressure. Oh my
so
gosh.
much pressure saying, you need to do something.
Yeah.
I did like all the normal steps. I scanned the I scanned the patient, scanned the medication, but I stopped there. So when you scan the medication, it usually says what's the dose, and you have to put in what you're gonna give.
Right.
Usually that is the normal cue for you to be like, oh yeah. In that intense situation, I just drew up the whole vial and gave it to the patient. Nothing really happened initially, and as soon as it happened, the charge nurse was like, she was right there, and she was like, how much did you give? And I was like, as soon as she said that, I was like, crap. I couldn't like think of anything else but the truth, and I was like, I gave the whole vial. And she was like, you're not supposed to. And I was like, yeah. What I did in that scenario, I went to tell the advanced practice practitioner what had happened. She was like, you know, just give it a few moments, see what it does. If anything, we'll give him 500 mLs of fluid to bring his blood pressure back up. And yeah, that moment I definitely felt ashamed. I felt like everyone was judging me. Especially because I told everyone. I told the director, I told the charge nurse was there, so she knew. I wrote a incident report on myself. I told the APC that was in charge of that patient. So everyone who was anyone knew about that mistake, and I just felt like, you know, I was the only one.
If you felt like that, then how did you have the confidence to write a report on yourself?
Honestly, it's because I am trying to be as transparent as possible, because I don't want anyone telling my story but me. I wanted to be in control of that, and also
proactive instead of reactive.
Exactly. And also just be honest, because hey, stuff happens, man. We got to be more aware. We got to be more diligent about how we do our stuff.
Yeah.
And never, ever, 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 ever let anyone rush you into not being safe. It's about being safe and sorry.
That's very true.
I never really got over it. It still sticks with me to this day. I don't play when it comes to hydralazine or any type of blood pressure medicine. I'm like checking twice, everything. Some people have taken a very lackadaisical approach to the mistakes they made, and that's something that I don't want to normalize. I don't want people to think that mistakes are kind of inevitable with the kind of environment we have to deal with.
Right.
It doesn't have to be. There are protocols set in place so that we can just follow them, and just be more careful.
My story is when I actually got caught by a patient. It was a near miss, and the patient was the one who caught me. My patient had been taking amlodipine at home. She was already maxed out on her dose, taking 10 milligrams daily in the morning. And she came from the ED. She got triaged really quickly and somehow ended up on our floor, even though she hadn't had surgery yet. I don't know what she was doing there. They reordered like all of her home meds. No one knew what she had already taken. I literally say this to every patient, no matter how much I know them. I'm gonna run through your medications with you. If you don't know why you're taking something, just stop me and let me know. When I got to amlodipine, I said, "You're getting amlodipine because you're hypertensive." And she was like, "Whoa, stop." She was like, "I've already taken my dose today." I was like, "Okay, but you're hypertensive right now, so I'm gonna give you more." And she was like, "Well, the last time I wasn't sure if I took my medicine or not. I took a second dose because I was like, well, I don't think I took it. And I checked my blood pressure and it was fine, so I took my medicine." And she said, "I started to feel lightheaded and dizzy." And she said she called 911. By the time they got there, like, she was like passed out, and they had to take her. She ended up in the ICU, blah blah blah, and she was like, "I'm not repeating that." Well, ma'am, that was while you were at home. You're in the hospital now.
You do what we do.
I have you on the monitor. I can see your blood pressure. I can see your heart rate. I can see literally everything second by second. If something were to go wrong, you're in the right place. This is an ICU. Like, this is what I do. She said no. She refused. She was very adamant about it. So I was just like, you know what? Okay, I hear you, and I'm not gonna dismiss you. So let me go talk to the provider.
Right.
And the provider was just like, "Oh yeah, her home dose is 10 milligrams. She's already taken it." She was like, "If I knew she had already taken it, I wouldn't have ordered it for her." And I was just like, "Really?" And she was just like, "Yeah, there's a max dose on it. Like, if I knew, I wouldn't have given it." She was like, "Let's treat her with something else." So she ordered something else for her hypertension. I didn't just take the mid-levels like word for it. I called pharmacy. I looked at Micromedex and I looked it up. In that very moment, I knew I had to go in that room and tell the lady that, like, "You were wrong, girl. I was wrong.
You were wrong.
Oh, I was wrong."
Is that an actual song?
No. You never want your patient to not have confidence in you. So to me, it was so heartbreaking that I had to go in the room and be like, "Yeah, so I'm just gonna take this amlodipine out of your medicine cup and just, treat you with something else because I was wrong." It's so easy for us as providers to just like ignore sometimes, and to just be like,
You know what I'm talking about.
yeah, right, like you're one of those cuckoos. Like I know better than you. You know what I mean? I looked her in her eye, and I was just like, I'm sorry, you were right. Like there's a max dose on amlodipine. If you've already taken it, there's absolutely no reason why I should give you this dose. I apologized, and she was just like, she honestly told me, she was like, I didn't expect for her to say it, but she was like, that's very big of you. I appreciate that. And she was like, there's a lot that you can learn from people. And I told her, I was like, what I learned from this situation is that you have to listen to people. We have literally put our hearts on the table on this beautiful, right, in our license, on this beautiful glass table to hopefully help the next generation, or even the current generation, do better.
Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching our videos. Please like and subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions and you want more videos, any topics, anything you want us to cover, please down below, write, comment, and we would love to interact with you and get to know you. Please follow us on our Instagram, and we'll see you next time. This is
Code Pink.
Code.
Rain is super hungry right now and a little bit crabby. So I'm hangry.
Get me out of here. Get me away from night shift. Night shift is not for me. It never has been. It never will be. Ever.
Jaraine has exited the picture.
Ever.